Welcome to Tools, Tech, and Gear. I'm Seth. This is the Camppal single-person tent. I've slept in this a couple times and thought that I would bring you along for a quick setup and then just kind of go over some of its features as I camp out here tonight. The bag on this tent is a bit too big. You can see that I've got probably 8 inches of extra space, so definitely plenty of room for you to put other things inside of here. But the bag is nice. It's got a couple of tie-down cinch straps. So let's go ahead and open this up. One thing that I really like about this tent is the fabric on the bottom is very thick. It's thicker than most tents that I've used, and so it should not really have to have a ground cloth. Here's the fly. We'll set that up in a second. It's got a bag of stakes and then the single pole. Okay, the first thing I like to do is find the door. It is facing the camera. That's good. Open this up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the stakes into place. I purchased this tent on Amazon. It is reasonably priced. I was mainly looking for something that was going to be lightweight for backpack camping. I'm four-wheeler camping today, so it doesn't matter as much on weight, but still nice to have a lightweight tent. All right, I may adjust those stakes again here in a moment. Let's go ahead and pull the single pole out. It is an aluminum pole. I've not tried this tent yet in the rain. The vestibule area is quite small, and I don't know how well it would do in the rain, but I'm not supposed to get any rain tonight, but I'm still going to put the fly on just for the sake of doing it. So to put the poles in place, there's a little metal tab that you slide the pole onto. So I just put the pole through the sleeve, and then the end of the pole will connect to this little metal tab right there. Just going to push this through. Now that I have the pole in place, I can readjust the stakes to get this spread out a little bit. So as you can see, it's not a big tent, but it definitely is lightweight. Before I get the rain fly on, let's do a little walk around. There you go. Definitely small. Let's go ahead and toss this rain fly on. The rain fly attaches by simply taking these elastic bands around the stakes. This middle one has a plastic hook that just goes into that ring. And now the front, where the zipper is, it has 2 tabs. And if you use one of them for a stake, you can then roll the door all the way back up. So let me get that out like that on both sides. And there we have the total setup of this tent. I kind of like to pull the top seam over a little bit, so if it ever does rain, it rolls off of that and not onto it. So as far as rain goes, nothing's going to get back here on this side. You may have a little issue at some point here on this corner, but I doubt it. And there's not a lot of airflow, as you can see, so that's one thing to consider. And over here, may have to adjust that a little bit, but anyway, it's pretty close to the ground. So in order to get some airflow, you would want to unzip this, and it will roll up into these tabs up here. And I'm actually going to be using some trekking poles here to hold this up until it gets too windy, then we'll put it down. All right, let me go ahead and unzip this so you can see the interior, and I'll give you a size comparison. So I am 5'11", almost 6 foot. Yeah, so if I sit down in here, so feet are just barely touching the other end, and I've got about a foot up here in the very corner from my head. So you're definitely going to be right at the edge as you sleep in here. And as far as sitting up goes, if you sit right at the very middle, head is touching. So as soon as you get your sleeping pad in here, you almost run out of room. So let's just say it's great for sleeping. You wouldn't want to spend tons of time in here if it's a rainy day. So I just keep that in mind. All right, let me show you around in here, and then we'll use some trekking poles to get this flap up a bit. Starting here on this side, there is a little storage pouch where you can keep your gear. And then if you move over here to this side, there's another one right over there. And that's pretty much all there is to see. Now there is one little loop. Let's see if I can get you right there. So you can hang a flashlight. So that's handy to have. Other than that, that's pretty much it. The fly on the front can be rolled up and stored with the little toggles. The toggles on this tent are real small, but they do function. I oftentimes don't bother with that and just kind of fold it up like that. So it's easy enough to put back into place. All right, let's go ahead and use a couple of trekking poles to get this flap up. Now this tent did not ship with any guy lines, which is something I would definitely have appreciated, but you can pick some of those up pretty cheap. And so I've picked up this one right here from another tent, and I'm just going to loop this around the top up here, and then I can stake it out over here. All right, I think that'll do quite nicely. Now, if it were to rain, the top of this would fill up with water and you'd have an issue. So it's basically a way to keep the sun out and then have the open vestibule space. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do tonight, just keep it open like this, and we'll see how well it works. Okay, the night is over. There was zero breeze last night. Got down to about 33, 34. There was no dew, and you'll see the condensation build up on the inside of the tent here. All right, so if I run my finger up over here, you can see had a bit of condensation, and a little bit got inside. Not too bad though. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and break this down and get it back in the bag. I'll open it back up at the house and let it dry out. So that's how I put up the Camppal. Of course, I need to go back to the house and get this laid out and dry out for a while. So a couple thoughts on this. Let's go with the negatives first. It's too short for somebody that is almost 6 foot. If it were a little heavier and had like 4 more inches of headspace, it would be great. No ventilation, so a lot of condensation builds up even with the door open. I had a good bit build up on the fly. So definitely would be nice to have some kind of ventilation, but tents do that one way or the other. The bag, I still feel like is a little too big. The company said you can put your sleeping pad in there or extra clothes or whatever, but it's just a little bit awkward to have one side of the strap over here. Now if you folded this up longer, it would be okay. I just kind of like having it all up in my backpack, kind of tucked out of the way. Let's see, anything else I don't like about this tent? Not really. I think it works out pretty good. So things that I do like about it, the weight, it is super light. I'll have the weight for you right here, because I don't remember. Having that floor that is extra thick, you don't have to have a ground cloth, so that's always nice. All right, it's kind of cold out here. I'm gonna head to the house. If you want to learn more about the Camppal tent, I have a link to the Amazon page down below. There are 3 colors to choose from, and it's priced pretty reasonably. I'm Seth with Tools, Tech, and Gear, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.